Why do some people achieve all of their goals and achieve everything they've ever desired, whereas some people can work just as hard and never get to their goals and seem to constantly be in a cycle of trying something new and never succeeding? Well, I believe the main reason comes down to one thing that people who succeed will do frequently and the people that don't succeed will never do. And in today's video, I'm not just going to talk about it and explain it, I'm also going to demonstrate what I mean at the same time. So, if you're new to the channel, my name is James Eardley and I've generated 7 figures with running an e-commerce business. I now coach people and I make these videos frequently to teach people how to achieve the same success. And in today's video, I've mentioned that there's one thing. Now, what is that one thing that people do? And what I believe it comes down to, the people that succeed the most, they get out of their comfort zone and they take risks. And I wanted to do that in today's video, not just talk about it, lecture people about it, but actually show people what I mean. So what I'm doing right now is filming this video in a very public area, and it's a public area of a city centre. And the reason I chose that is because there's people walking by, people watching me, people seeing me with this funny, fluffy microphone on my chest, and probably wondering what on earth is he doing. But that is all part of it, and I wanted to feel that feeling of being outside of my comfort zone while I talk about it. Because if I was to not do this and hold myself back, I'd be allowing the comfort zone to determine the actions that I take. And from what I've learned now in my first 3 years of business and coaching people and helping people get over that initial stage of starting businesses, what holds so many people back, and it's horrible to see, is that they don't want to get outside of their comfort zone and they don't want to take new actions that they've never taken before. And what I always remind myself of and have to tell people is that if you always do what you've done before, you'll always achieve the same results that you've achieved before as well. In order to achieve anything new, any new results in your life, you have to take different actions. You have to take actions that you've never taken before. But why does that feel so uncomfortable? Well, I believe it comes down to just how we are as people and human condition. We're naturally made to stay in our comfort zones, because initially going outside of a comfort zone, doing new things for a human meant uncertainty and being unsafe. And so that's why we feel these feelings whenever we do something brand new or something that is outside of the comfort zone. We feel those same feelings. But you have a choice. Whenever you get those feelings about being outside of your comfort zone, about being uncertain, you still have the choice over whether you decide to act anyway, regardless of how you feel. Your feelings aren't final and they don't have to determine all of the actions that you take. So just remember that whenever you are trying to move forward. Now, I'll tell you a story from how I got started in business and how I overcame feelings of risks and uncertainty and being outside of my comfort zone. I initially was in a 9-to-5 job that was unfulfilling, and I stayed in there for about 3 years because I decided that that was the best use of my time, and it felt comfortable to be making that money and to get into a corporate role, go to a uni course and do what society thought was expected of me. And the whole time it felt comfortable because it was a perception of progress. I was showing people that I was making something in my life and I was earning some money, able to afford a living. But every day I knew that I was unfulfilled and it wasn't taking me to the place that I wanted to get to. So instead, to get out of that, although it was comfortable every day and I knew exactly what I was doing each day, I had to, instead of doing the comfortable thing, I knew if I was going to feel fulfilled, if I was going to achieve the big goals that I had to start taking actions that brought me out of my comfort zone and would get me to the inevitable success that I wanted. So I had to sit down and work out, okay, how do I ignore all those feelings and make sure I take action regardless of how uncomfortable it feels to start a business when you've got a comfortable 9-to-5 job. So I had to sit down and make mental pain for myself, okay? So stay with me on this point. I had to decide that it was going to be more painful for me to stay in a 9-to-5 job and not go after my goals than it would be to stay in the job. So initially what happened was I felt completely terrified of leaving my job and of starting a business because I had no experience in business and I didn't have anyone around me that had ever started a business before. So that was very scary, and staying in a 9-to-5 job was completely comfortable. And you might be able to resonate with these feelings if you feel like you know exactly what you're doing the next day at work and it's comfortable and you feel like your learning curve is plateaued and it feels the same every day, but you feel comfortable doing that, then you're probably experiencing the same things. When you think about starting a business or going after your goals, that probably sounds a lot more scary. Well, if you're in that position, you have to completely flip it on its head, and you need to get it to a point where you associate more fear, more discomfort with staying in the job than you do to actually going out and starting a business or going after your goals. So the way I did that was purely through the thoughts that I was having. And I would put thoughts into my brain that would create a mental pain around staying in the job, and it would make going after my goals, going after the business, a lot less painful. So that became the more comfortable option. So it's completely flipped around. So the way I do it on a Sunday night, Monday mornings, and sometimes even just after a boring Tuesday at work, I would sit in my desk and I'd go into my own head and start thinking all those thoughts about where would my life be, firstly, if I carry on in the same job, and secondly, if I start a business. And I remember having these thoughts and my head down, living my next 20, 30 years out if I stayed in the same 9-to-5 job. And I looked at people that were 20 or 30 years ahead of me on that career path, and it terrified me. I didn't want to see my life going that way. It was mediocrity. People were just tolerating putting up with a life that they didn't really feel passionate about, but they just knew it was comfortable and didn't know how to do anything else. And I thought, that's just not where I want to go. And it actually scared me to think that that was all there was to life. And then I looked at the other option, and some people were absolutely happy with that, and that's absolutely fine. That just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. I knew that there was more out there that I wanted to achieve. So then I looked at the other option, and that was to start a business online and to work really hard, which terrified me to start with. But then I looked 20 or 30 years in the future of that, and I realised, well, if I really go for it, I can see what others have achieved by building an online business. They have complete time, location, financial freedom, and they're able to do what they want when they want. And I had this picture, and I still have this picture, of being able to travel whenever I want, and money coming in online, and doing that through an e-commerce business where you just need a laptop and you can hire virtual assistants to do things, the day-to-day tasks for you. And I knew that was my goal, and I knew I had to do that no matter how uncomfortable it felt at the time. 20 or 30 years time, it was going to be a whole lot more uncomfortable if I didn't take those actions and if I stayed in the 9-to-5 job. So what that meant is that the risk became the easy option, and actually what became more risky for me would be to take no action and to stay in that same job. So yeah, think about it. I think what it taught me was, what is risk anyway? I mean, if you think about it, everything is risky. It's whatever you decide to put that risk towards. In my head, after having all of these thoughts, I realised in the end that it was more risky for me to stay in my 9-to-5 job, because what that was going to lead to was continued feelings of being unfulfilled, continued feelings of being upset, unhappy, not wanting to push forward every day, not wanting to get up and really go to work and do my best. That was a whole lot more risky to my overall health than going after my goals. So when you feel those feelings of discomfort, when you don't want to do something like coming out, filming in public, getting watched by strangers, go ahead and do that thing, whatever it is for you, whether that's starting a business, whether that's filming in public, whatever it is, whatever you get that feeling of outside of your comfort zone and not sure if you should do it because it feels wrong and scary, then normally that is the exact action that you should take. So as I wrap up this video today, I want to give you one challenge to take away from this video. And the one challenge is to take one risk today. Now, whatever day it is you're picking this up, take one risk. Think about what is it that feels risky, but it's something that you know you want to do. There's normally something in the back of your mind. There's normally a goal that you've got or something on your to-do list, and there's something in mind that you want to go out and achieve. That goal won't go out and achieve it by itself. You have to go out, take those actions, and no doubt, if you're going to achieve anything amazing, it will be uncomfortable, it won't be easy, but you have to do it anyway. So feel those feelings and do it regardless. That's my one challenge from today. Okay, so with that said, that is the video wrapped up for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have and you like these style of videos while I go out and make myself look funny in public. So drop it a like if you did enjoy that. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and comment about what risk you plan to take, and I'll pick up and read and respond to as many comments as I can in that underneath this video. So that'd be fantastic. Also, if you want a community, I'm putting a community together of ambitious people, and if you're struggling to leave a 9-to-5 job, then you can go ahead and click that first link in the description. Feel free and ignore it if you want. It's not a paid, expensive course. It's purely just a free community that I'm putting together to get ambitious people together that think the same, to help each other out and build incredible businesses and build incredible lives. So with that said, check it out if it sounds good to you. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.